All right, folks, we got Hall of Famer, we got Notre Dame legend, Tim Brown in the house, hanging with DraftKings right now. Thanks for taking some time, man.
Pleasure, brother. Good to be here. Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. This has been a long week here on Radio Row. What is this, like day 4, and I feel like it's day 40, but like we're having fun. We're getting to talk to legends like yourself. Being around all of the madness of Super Bowl week, what memories kind of come back for you?
Oh man, the 1 week, the 1 year that we made the Super Bowl was a quick week, right? We didn't have time to relax. We had to go right from the game. The next morning we were down in San Diego already. So that was the last year that there was no break in between. Of course, for the oldest team in America at that time, we didn't get a break.
Let's make the old guys work for it.
Right. So, but of course, I never would forget that week. Obviously it wasn't a good game for us, but just having that experience of playing in the biggest game in the world was a remarkable week for us.
I mean, they didn't really have this here. Like, what was like the spectacle at that time around the Super Bowl? I mean, how crazy was it with media at that time? We were talking like 20 years ago now.
Yeah. It wasn't the media that we did was, it was so segmented, and they only gave us a little bit of time. Somebody's walking by with a microphone. You sitting in a booth and you get 5 minutes, or whatever with somebody. So it really. It was really a waste of time, to be honest with you. But it was really just showing up. Jerry Rice and Tim Brown and Rich Gannon out there, just out there really for the most part. But what I do remember is we were outside that sun in San Diego. You know what I mean? So with our black jerseys on.
It was get our asses inside.
Right. No doubt.
I mean, we've seen like Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. They're making their rounds. I'm sure this is exhausting for like a lot of these guys. Which one of those two MVP finalists would you build a franchise around?
Well, look, man, either one, to be honest with you. I mean, I know that's not the answer, but, I love what Jalen Hurts is doing. I think he makes football looks really, really simple.
Yeah, he makes it very fun. Both of them make it very fun.
No doubt. And, on the other hand, Patrick makes it looks as if he's working really hard. He's scrambling, he's coming out the pocket, he's throwing the ball, he's doing all this stuff, he's running, but that's his game. That's who he is. You know what I mean? So,
he's got like a behind the back pass.
Whatever.
I mean, he's a magician.
It's just and this is what I've been saying to people. Look, I really believe Philadelphia is a better team, but if there's a chance for Patrick Mahomes to win this game, he's going to win the football game.
No, agree. I feel like quarterback on the Chiefs side may be the only area where they have an advantage over the Eagles. Wide receiver. Got to talk to you about the position that you were so damn good at. Which wide receiver here could you see absolutely going off on Sunday?
Well, I think that AJ is going to have an incredible year, but a guy like Devontae, with all the talent that he has,
Heisman winner here, dude.
If they pay
you know
too
what
much
that's
attention,
about.
Right? They pay too much attention to AJ Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, he could really go off in this game, man. So, Kansas City has these young cornerbacks. They're all rookies. I mean, this time of year, nobody's a rookie, right? Yep. But at the same time, they haven't seen Devontae. They haven't seen AJ. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be a big challenge for the DBs from Kansas City to initially to keep these guys intact. Because if they get going early, now you get the passing and the running game going, and it could be disastrous.
Have you ever had any conversations with Devontae, especially after he wins the Heisman? Because I know that it's a small group there, wide receivers who take home the Heisman.
I mean, I haven't had a real. I was able to see him at that time where he won and shake his hand and that kind of stuff.
Right,
but you don't want to be intrusive in these guys' lives. Like, hey, bro, I've done this before.
Hey, I'm Tim Brown.
You may want to call me. You know what I mean? You may want to keep it. But they all think they know it, and most of them want to learn it the hard way. And I get that. I get that.
Why does the wide receiver position continue to be shut out with the MVP award? You'll have finalists in there, but a wide receiver has never won NFL MVP, and they're announced tonight.
Look, I've cried about this for years.
Yeah.
It's like you throw the ball to me and I catch it at 5, but I run at 75. But you get the credit for the 80. but I only made 5 people miss. You know what I mean? To get to the end zone. I don't know, man. I just think it's unfair.
Like, Tim, it's definitely unfair. What the hell is it going to take for a wide receiver to actually win NFL MVP? Like, if Cooper Kupp can't do it last year with the ridiculous record.
But think about Randy Moss.
Yeah, that's another great example for sure.
If Randy Moss couldn't win friggin' MVP, Jerry Rice back in the day couldn't win. I don't know, man. I just think it's a bias, no doubt about it, and it's unfortunate, but I don't know what could break it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's become, just name it quarterback like award or something. Just give it to the best quarterback, right? Like,
Right.
so
Right.
it is cool to see Justin Jefferson up for that.
Yeah.
But let's stick with quarterbacks right now. Another guy who you could build around when we were talking about building around teams, building around Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Tom Brady. He just retired for a second time. First thing that comes to mind, Tim Brown, when Tom Brady retired again.
That he should go immediately into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, no 5-year wait.
No 5-year wait for him?
And I know, it sounds crazy, but why? Why are we waiting
Yeah.
5 years for Tom Brady to go into the Hall of Fame? I mean,
If it's a
there's
surefire Hall of Famer,
right,
you're saying
there's
eliminate.
nobody ever going to do what he's done. I mean, Super Bowl wins or longevity, records, and all. Why are we waiting? You know what I mean? Put the guy in the Hall of Fame now. I just think what he's done, and I like to bring this up not as a dig, but as a fact, is I truly believe that if that call back in the day, the
Okay,
Tupperware
hey,
game,
I didn't bring it up. You did.
if it goes against him, I don't think he's a starting quarterback going into the season. I think they go back to Bledsoe because this young kid lost a game, a snow game, to a West Coast football team. You know what I mean? I literally think he goes back to being the backup quarterback. That's what I believe.
He is not a Hall of Famer. He's not a 7-time Super Bowl winner without that call.
Without that call. And, to get him to somewhat admit that on the little documentary him and Woodson did was really, really, really great stuff.
Yeah, you're like,
told him,
that's a
I was
small
like, hey, look,
victory for you.
I'm good. I'm good now. I'll never talk about this again if I don't have to, but just hearing him admit it was unbelievable.
All right, your former team, the Raiders, who's going to be under center for him next season? Oh, my gosh. All right, so
You almost lost me. You almost lost me right there.
All right, so this one stings a little bit. So who do you want as your quarterback? Is this going to be a trade? Or are you just going to go to the draft? What are you going to do?
I don't know. You feel the voice?
Yeah,
you hear
I
the
feel
voice?
it. I see your body language and stuff. I'm glad it's not me making you do this, and it's your former team.
I don't know what the plan is right
Yes.
now. And, look, it's not that I've ever really known what the plan, but sometimes you can see what a team is trying to accomplish. I don't see it right now, but again, that doesn't mean anything. I just think that I've talked to Josh Jacobs, you know what I mean? And
Incredible season he just had.
everybody needs to see the plan. Everybody needs to know what's going on. And I just don't know if that's the case right now. And I think in New England, because of Belichick, there was this aura, whatever you want to call it, that was in that building that you automatically went, whatever they, I'm just going to.
Yeah.
Well, that really doesn't exist, I believe, in other places. And I think in other places, the players have voices, more so than they probably did in New England. And I think from that standpoint, trying to bring that to Vegas may be throwing people off a little bit. You know what I mean? I think.
Yeah. Well, we also haven't seen many coaches from the Belichick coaching tree have success elsewhere. They tend to go somewhere, they tend to fail, and end up back in New England.
They try to emulate him,
Yeah.
and that's not who they are.
No, it's
what I mean? And I think, look, when you talk about offensive minds and that kind of stuff,
Yes. Yeah.
But-
we know what Josh McDaniels
Right.
is,
It's much more than that. It's more. If you're the head coach, you got to be able to talk to offensive guys, defensive guys, special team guys. You got to be able to talk to everybody. And if that is not the case, then I think look, it's just going to make it a lot more difficult, man.
Okay.
So, but I don't know what they're going to do as a quarterback to answer your question. I do believe they want a veteran.
Okay, so
Because I think Devontae wants a veteran.
yeah, well, that kind of brings me to the thought of Aaron Rodgers. Maybe
I don't know if they have enough draft picks. They
I know.
gave him all away for Devontae.
Or to have to pay whatever he's owed this year.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a ridiculous
Yeah.
amount of
Yeah.
cash, but
Well,
you would have to like the idea if they could somehow make it work. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams together again, playing in that
Oh, that would-
spaceship of a stadium.
But the problem is they only have a few days to get this deal done with Carr,
Yeah.
because he's sitting there going, "I got 45 big ones coming.
I know.
Y'all work this thing out
Yeah.
or not. It's
Yeah.
good by me either way." You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
look, they put themselves in a very precarious position, I believe, and I think Derek would have been much more willing to work with them if they did bench him the last couple games.
Yeah.
They let him play the thing out, and everybody knows what was going on at that time. Now, hey man, thank you, Josh. I appreciate you. Thank you for allowing me to do that. What do we need to do to make this happen? But if you're going to stick me in the gut, then I'm be like, hey, talk to my agent.
Yeah, so you're saying Josh McDaniels is a big part of the problem right now with this franchise?
Well, I think that's a big statement, but I will say that, there's a lot that needs to be explained, I think, to the players.
Okay.
I think, like I said, I think he comes from a situation where whatever we say, that's what you're going to do.
All right, so
you better like it.
So what does he need to change next season?
Well, I think I'll say communication, making sure everybody's on the same page. But
Gotta find a quarterback.
a couple of defensive players,
Yeah.
we can go down the line.
Listen, whoever the hell the quarterback ends up being gets to throw the football to Devontae Adams, as we've already mentioned. Who is the best wide receiver right now in football?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Jefferson had an incredible year. Tyreek had an unbelievable year.
Dude, he was on a record-setting pace until Tua gets injured.
But when you look at Devontae, man, he really didn't have help most of the year. Hunter was out.
Darren Waller's injured all the time.
And he put up incredible numbers with really no help most of the year. So I mean, that guy normally never gets the credit. I mean, I was in that situation a lot back in my day.
Yep.
Never had any real help, but I was putting up numbers. But people would look at me as a guy that was, one of the top guys or whatever. But I definitely would put Devontae right up there with the best guys in the league.
All right, before you take off, I know your alma mater needs a new offensive coordinator. Saw the tweets, called the departure of Tommy Rees a great day for Irish football. So what could he have done better?
Look, Tommy's young.
God, what is he, like 30 or
30,
something?
yeah.
And I'm like, you're going to be the offensive coordinator in Alabama? I said, you lucky son of a...
And I said, it's probably the best day ever for Tommy Rees because now, what I defined as hero ball, throwing the ball to only the best guy that I have. Everybody on his offense is going to be that guy. You know what I mean? So, he'll be able to go down there and succeed. It'll just be the Georgia and the LSU games where he'll, if there's a struggle, that's when they're going to struggle. So
they're all 5-star recruits.
Exactly.
It's like
everybody's a
college
hero.
professional team, college NFL
no
team.
doubt. Everybody's a hero in that game, right? So I just think from that standpoint, Tommy's a Notre Dame guy, so I would never try and hurt him in any way. But I did want to tell the truth of how I felt about it and how I believe a lot of Notre Dame football fans felt about it also. So,
what do you want the offense to look like?
I just believe offensive football is not difficult because on every team, on every defensive team, there's a guy who shouldn't be out there.
Yeah.
Or it's a guy who's less than the guy next to you. You got to expose that guy, make them cover him up, and then once they cover him up, now you got him. Now you know what they're going to do, what they have to do. But, we just didn't seem to have the ability to do that.
So, like, game plan for that specific defense.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Game plan against guys, if you know a DB is an aggressive guy, then double move him.
Yeah.
Double move him until, you double move him 3-4 times in a row if you have to.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not even looking at that guy, but you have that guy to double move that guy to get him to say, dang, I better sit back. And now you can work that guy underneath, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just seems to be nothing, an offense where if you got to pick a side, the sides are not working together. So if you pick the wrong side, you're dead.
Yep.
That's what was happening to us early in the year. You know what I mean? So look, it's. I just don't think this is really complicated stuff.
No.
And especially in today's football where it's wide open, I just think that you could be more creative.
All right, H2H, the perfect 10, presented by Prudential. Take me inside this.
Look, man, I was getting ready to go do my Hall of Fame speech back in 2015, and a buddy pulls me over and says, did you know that you're only the 9th guy to win the Heisman and go in the Hall of Fame? I was like, dude, there's at least 40 guys who've done that.
Yeah,
what are you talking
you would
about?
think that.
And so literally on the bus ride to my enshrinement speech, I'm Googling how many Heisman winners are in the Hall of Fame. And at that time, they hadn't added me, so there was only 8 guys. And I was really shocked by that. I really thought, wow, that's unreal. What an incredible legacy we're leaving on the football field. But my immediate thought went to, man, what kind of legacy can we leave off the field? Can we all get together and make something happen? So we formed H2H. We got H2H Foundation. Obviously, Prudential is on. We got a documentary that's going to air Saturday night on Fox, prime time. You know what I mean? And hopefully we'll give awareness.
You're making moves. Look at Hall of Fame career. You think you just chill out, but you're still making moves, man. You're still making magic.
You've been given all this, man. You might as well do something with it. And if we can do it
that.
for good, you know what I mean? Give money to foundations. I mean, I just think that's a remarkable deal.
Well, thanks for doing that. I mean, you've always been a favorite of mine growing up a Notre Dame fan. So the honor was all mine getting to ask you a few questions today.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. Absolutely.
Thank you.